And y'all, welcome back to I Do It Myself. I'm Wayno. Good morning. If you like what it is that I do, hit that sub button, run up them likes, and hit that hype. Today we talking about the Dame Dash saga. So, I want to know this before I start. How do y'all feel about Dame Dash? Do y'all look at Dame Dash as a great businessman, a credible person when it comes to hip hop and hip hop culture? Do you look at Dame Dash as a person of stature and a person that you would look to lead you, or do you look at him as a person of clout, a person who once was those things that I said prior, and a person who kind of fell off from that and looks crazy? I'll let y'all decide, you know what I mean, towards the end, how y'all feel about that. I want to talk about this Breakfast Club interview. So before we get anywhere, before we even get to the whole story of where we going, let's start out with the jokes first.
That you guys are confidently saying things that you don't know are true. You just said that. I don't think that's responsible.
You confidently said I'm gay.
I think you're
So I
gay.
can confidently say
I
you're
said
broke.
it in your face. I don't care if you say I'm broke.
And I say you're broke in your face.
And I think you're broke. I don't care. That doesn't hurt my feelings what another girl thinks. If you guys look at my Instagram, I've been editing for 6 months. Stupid.
I don't believe you.
Because you're dumb. How would you know? You're in this coffin every day, Count Dumbula.
I want to wear your suit in my coffin.
Yeah. I ain't gonna front, man. Like, if y'all think that that's anything when it comes to Dame's humor, his rhetoric, how belligerent he could be, how sharp he could be, that's nothing compared to 01, 02, 03, 04 when I was at Rockefeller, right? But do y'all remember when Nas said this?
Dame Diddy, Dame Daddy, or Dame Dummy.
Now, I don't think that Dame is a dummy by far, but I do think that he puts himself in positions to look dumb. I do think that he says shit the same way he complained about people saying things without facts. He says things without facts, and it's okay for him to say, but when it's turned on him, it's looking like everybody's hating. Now, I don't think that it's a lot of people who support Dame necessarily as fanfare. I think that a lot of people just don't like Jay-Z. And that's cool. I could care less if you like Jay-Z or not. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying I think a lot of people are not pro Dame, they're anti-Jay. You know what I'm saying? And of course, you know, you go through the storylines of what was told, and you could pick what side you want to stand on, whatever. I stand on I Do It Myself side. But Dame Dash was up there. Charlemagne asked him a lot of different things. Now, the thing about Dame is this. Dame mentioned that he's 54 years old. I want to keep that as a bar, because it gauges how we view people as they get older. OGs, you know what I mean? OGs, old heads, you know what I'm saying? Like, people who we look to lead us. And his actions on a public platform as a businessman, right, is why I feel like people don't take him serious. And that's the whole thing. I think people don't take Dame serious because of his antics. I don't think it got too much to do with the teeth. You know what I'm saying? I think the teeth is just a wild subject because we've never seen something like this. But I think that people don't take him serious because of how he speaks, answers questions, and how he handles himself. This is when Charlemagne asked him about Paid in Full. Now, y'all all remember that a lot of this started because of Cameron, you know, talking about his disputes with Dame. Dame saying that Cam let 50 smack him on his ass. 50 and Cam announcing that they was going to be partnering up as executive producers of the story of Paid in Full. Dame has his own version of Paid in Full called My Paid in Full, and he says that there's no rights to it. So let's go through his answers when Charlemagne asks him about the platforms that he's building or the shows or the IP.
My first question was about the Paid in Full.
What about it?
Did you own Paid in Full? Like, how did 50 Cent acquire ownership of Paid in Full?
Let me ask you a question. Let's put this in.
That's not how this works, Dame. No.
I'm sorry.
I asked the question.
You just cut me off. Right? Now, I want you to notice every time you do that.
Okay.
And they would say I'm bugging if I yelled, but please let me complete my sentence. And please don't tell me how we do things. That's going to be a trigger. So I'm just talking normally. Do you remember when 50 Cent was supposed to be putting out a documentary about Puff on Netflix?
Yes.
Where is it?
I think it's still happening.
Yeah, right. He's capping. So I'm, I talk a different language than most people. I'm a boss. So number one, there is no rights to be bought. So I knew he was trolling.
Now, he says there is no rights to paid in full. There is no rights to paid in full. What 50 was speaking on, most likely, is the rights to the story of AZ and Rich Porter and Alpo, which made the, if you would call it, paid in full universe or whatever, because that's what it seems like 50 is going to build it out to, right? Like, of course, you'll have the story of them that we've already seen or we know because we've seen it in documentaries and movie, of course, but then he'll do prequels and maybe an up-to-date version after everything happens. But 50 responded, right? 50 says, Dame going out bad. I don't know why he would say I'm capping about anything. Award-winning projects take time. Catch 50 Ways to Catch a Killer on Fox Nation now, right? So 50 is always going to promote some shit that he got going on. But this is more context as to what Dame was doing with the whole paid in full idea.
Really trying to tell me how to answer? And you expect me not
No,
to
I
be
just
triggered?
want you to answer.
Are you trying to trigger me?
No, I just want you to answer.
Okay. So then let me. How can I answer? You keep cutting me off.
Okay.
I told you he doesn't have the rights. No one has the rights. Who are you going to buy the rights from? I wasn't planning on making paid in full about those people. Again, I was making my paid in full. And, you don't have to buy the rights. I was actually there. So 50 trolls. And I was saying, and I felt like you were interrupting me, and I'd like you to answer my question now. Do you feel like I've answered yours?
Yes.
Do you think it's all right to bring people's children involved?
No.
Did you know that Cam called my son and tried to give him money?
I heard you say that.
You think that's okay?
I need to know what he tried to give him money
for. It doesn't
for.
matter. He's my... Okay. Do you think that's okay?
He might have been offering him a job. I don't know.
I have heard your answer. Do you think it's okay?
I don't know their relationship. Like y'all from the same place.
Like
he might look at Cam as uncle. I don't know the relationship.
Duly
if there
noted.
Is no relationship.
Duly noted.
Then I get it. I understand.
We're different.
You understand what I'm saying?
I got you. You should know that if someone's beefing with someone, you don't tell their kids, and you don't get with that person's children, and you know better than that. So don't act stupid.
If y'all are beefing, then that's something different.
Are we not beefing? Are y'all really beefing? No, would you call it beef? You said it's not beef.
Well,
that's your brother.
It's not. I'm not going to get violent. It's definitely like him coming against me is almost like Fredo going against Michael Corleone. My favorite movie of all time is The Godfather. Mm-hmm. I studied it. I read the book. It burnt me out. Remember Godfather 2 when he pretended to be weak? Mm-hmm. Then he took out the...
Now, Dame goes on and on and on and on about the Godfather, how he feels about being the Godfather. He's the Godfather, all of this shit. Listen, I'm not mad at people using fiction to rationalize reality because I myself use it sometimes. But using it in this context just throws me off a bit because he keeps saying like, yeah, like Cam is Fredo and I had to come back and, destroy the families and all this other stuff. And I get to an extent of where he's coming from, but that still don't answer the question. Did you own paid in full? No, I didn't make it about those. I didn't want to make it about those said, but it's made. Do you own the rights? Did you own the rights to these characters? That movie, that storyline. I know a couple of years ago, Dame was talking about doing a sequel to Paid in Full. Y'all may know or may not know, Alpo was murdered a couple of years ago. You know what I'm saying? And the dude that did it beat the charges and got out, which is a whole nother conversation, story, and conspiracy theory. But Dame did launch this trailer, and this is where the story takes a bit of a turn because he starts talking a lot about Revolt. Starts talking about a lot about Revolt. And this is the trailer to my Paid in Full, which is Dame Dash's story.
When I made Paid in Full, my intention wasn't to tell the story of one crew. Every block had their own Paid in Full. The block I was from and my own experience is my own Paid in Full. I saw things and I know people that were actually there. And everyone else that lived in Harlem around that period of time has their own. And I'm going to showcase everyone's Paid in Full that I've seen actually live the Paid in Full life. This is my Paid in Full.
While I do think that this is a good idea, I'm worried about the messenger. Reason why I'm worried about the messenger, not that Dame can't deliver on something like this, it's just that how is it gonna go? Now that you have these different things popping up. Because the thing about paid in full is this. What I've always heard about Alpo, Rich Porter, and them is that they weren't the ones that was getting the most money. It's just that they were the youngest at the time that was doing it the way that they were doing it. And because of Alpo, he was loud and obnoxious and all types of shit. You know what I'm saying? But Dame wants to tell stories. I think that could be something good, right? If he does it the right way. But Dame made an announcement today. He said that he was the chairman of Revolt. He said that.
And I'm saying what I'm seeing in the algorithm is that you're being investigated for RICO, and that there were people around you that are getting charged. Let me ask you a question. Of course, I don't expect you. Bottom line is, I already know you're going to fold if they come for you. You tell them. We already know that.
The SEC,
But anyway,
FBI,
man, do not show
that.
that. Are you crazy? Yo, don't let Dame make
He walking with the letter.
Don't let Dame make you sick. Come on, MB. Don't let Dame make you sick. Come on, MB.
You have to prove facts because
No,
he
you
can't
don't.
prove facts.
I can't?
No.
Everything I say, I be having on tape.
It's not factual.
What's not factual that I said?
Nothing that you said is factual.
So I'm not the chairman of Revolt?
I don't know. I haven't seen the dateline yet.
Deadline.
You know what happens when feminine people get nervous and upset? Their voice starts cracking, their lips start shaking.
That's what you be doing when you be on all the dialogue.
Or you
When your
stand
teeth
up
be
and walk
falling
away.
Now, he said that he was the chairman of Revolt. That's what he said. That's his announcement that came out today. But as fast as the announcement came out, of course, it was going to be rebuttals and shit. I myself reached out to somebody from Revolt, and they told me that wasn't true. Lauren LaRosa reached out to somebody from Revolt as well, and she says, I just spoke to a lead publicist at Revolt who confirms to me Dame Dash is not the chairman of the network. So I'm like, yo, fuck it. See, remember that line that Nas said?
Dame Diddy, Dame Daddy, or Dame Dummy.
While I don't think that Dame is dumb, this is some dumb shit. This is some real life dumb shit. So Detavio Samuels, the CEO of Revolt, sent out an email. It says, team, I know some of you might be caught, I know some of you might have caught Dame Dash's interview on the Breakfast Club today to set the record straight, and he put some bullet points. Dame Dash is a hip-hop pioneer with a proven track record as a creator. Yes, we've been in conversations about potential partnerships, things like licensing shows and films for Revolt, but there is no signed deal. He is not the chairman of our company. There is no acquisition on the table. The quote from me in Vibe is completely fabricated. I never said any of that. If anything, that major were happening, you'd hear it directly from me. Now, here's what is true. We just announced a partnership with Naomi Osaka's Hannah Kuma in Sports and Sports Illustrated yesterday. Black women and women more broadly are doing more powerful things in sports and culture. Let's make sure we're giving that our kind of energy to the spotlight it deserves. Our audience numbers across YouTube and social are hitting all-time highs. And we're working with some of the dopest creatives. He mentions Drink Champs, right? He mentions Drink Champs and Lene Vinay, Mariah Rose, Elise Hanna, you know what I'm saying? Big Facts and more. It says, don't get distracted. Let's stay focused and keep stacking wins today. Woo! So here's the thing. Remember I said, keep in mind that bar being 54 years old. For myself, who is a 42-year-old man, growing up looking up to a person like Dame Dash, and I said Dame Dash, Irv Gotti, Kevin Lyles, a bunch of different people in music that I aspired to be like. As we've gotten older, the aspirations have decreased. Because when you see a person operating and handle themselves like this, it makes you say, who the fuck want to be on that type of time? Now, he makes a lot of points about, yo, if my family is taken care of, how could I be broke? I'm not one of those people that's going to die on some hill about Dame Dash being broke. And one thing I understand about Dame Dash being broke is his broke is not the average person broke. So that's two different worlds. You know what I'm saying? That's two completely different worlds. But then the OG, right? He ventures into talking about Cam. And he says, he tells a story. He was on the Art of Dialogue. Art of Dialogue released a interview with him. I mean, they got a bunch of interviews, but they released the interview today, and he's talking about an interaction between him, Big L, and Cam when Cam was younger. Keep in mind, OG.
Never sold a drug with Cam. You know why? Because when he was young, I was on my way to the hill, me, him, and Big L. And I made a left on Amsterdam into a checkpoint, and I didn't have a license. But at that time, they didn't really always lock you up, but they sometimes did. So I was like, yo, I think I can get out of this, but I'm just letting y'all know I got 3 bricks in the car, but I'll wear it. Cam started crying, man. And he told us right then and there that he would put himself in PC. Fuck that, I'm putting myself in PC. Me and Big L like, what? So we went to the side and was like, you know, afterwards we were laughing, but we were like, I was like, I will never hustle with him. He's a ball player and he does music. So I never really, he's a civilian. But you can't be saying you the best that ever did it in Harlem and you never sold drugs. And if you had to go to Ohio after you was a rapper, that's not the best that ever did it. How dare you say some shit like that? And another thing is like, they made up no homo, but this nigga saying pause, has pause on his forehead. You didn't make up pause. So you lost your rights. You're not to me, you're Fredo, you're Cameo. No more. Pause. Don't act like every time you say pause, you're celebrating the Godfather, me. We made that up. Stop saying it unless you think I'm the best that ever did it. Don't act like you did it. That was, come like, niggas saying, and the reason why is they can't say no homo, because they'll get canceled. So now you're going to try to now take that? So how could you say you the best that ever did it? Don't ever say that. So I also have to regulate that because I don't want people ever to think that's a reflection of Harlem. Guys that curve, stab their brother in the back to help them out, won't pick up their phone.
Now let's hypothetically speak right here, because the only person that could corroborate this story other than Cam, which I don't believe Cam is going to say, yeah, I was crying, is Big L, who passed away in 99, right? Now, my problem with this is for him to be a 54-year-old man, for him to have taken care of as many people as he has taken care of, because I'm not going to dispute that. The way he's talking about selling drugs is just like, drugs is this great-ass adventure. I come from a neighborhood that was heavily drug-ridden. Everybody where I'm from, where I grew up at, sold drugs. Selling drugs is not a special thing where I'm from. But talking about it in such a light about being the best, y'all niggas is taking pride in destroying y'all communities. I'm not saying that selling drugs is not a part of the story, because it's a part of a lot of people's story. But to talk about it within the passion of being the best to ever do it when it comes to selling drugs, what payback did Harlem get from any of this? Because all them drugs that y'all niggas sold, all them drugs, all that money y'all made, y'all ain't do nothing but leave the door open for gentrification. Y'all didn't buy up the hood. Y'all didn't buy up the hood. Y'all destroyed the hood. Let's just call a spade a spade. Let's call it for what it is, man. I know, like, there's tons of songs that we love and celebrate about these types of stories, but the realistic fact of it is that this is not a song. This is a person telling you that he would never sell drugs with somebody that was younger than him because he was a ball player and a rapper and a civilian. Well, why would it ever come across your mind to sell drugs with that type of person? Why would a person at his age even speak in this matter? Why? Does that make sense to y'all? Let's just keep it 1,000. Because I do not, and I don't care what y'all say in the comments. I do not hate Dame Dash. What I do hate though, what I definitely hate is ignorance. And to see somebody talk about a place that I hold near and dear like Harlem and what it means, and the only thing it could possibly be about is selling drugs. What do niggas own in Harlem? Let's call it for what it is. For all the pain put in the streets, all the bodies dropped, all the people who went through tough times, all of the people that was on drugs that didn't survive, all of the families that was ripped apart, all of the people that went to prison for all of those years. What's the bragging point of it? Just to be able to say, I did it. I made more money than you made, or I had the fastest car, the baddest chick. That's it? All right, cool. Like I said, I don't think Dame is a dummy, but I do think he says dumb shit. Now, my whole takeaway from this my whole takeaway from this is when do any of us grow up? Because there's countless examples of people who are older, who are businessmen and women, who are accomplished, and it seems like they just grown versions of fucking kids. Now, Cameron had his rebuttal, and this is what he had to say regarding Dame.
I ain't know you be lying like this, bro. I ain't know you be lying like this, yo. It's sad. They told me, but you know when a nigga your man, you don't pay attention to a lot of shit. I didn't know, bro, that you a flagrant liar like this, man. Now look, Talk with Fleet come on tomorrow, 5 p.m. on Revolt's YouTube. But that was shit that he talked about last week. So part 2 will be out this Friday on Revolt YouTube about what he talked about this week. But I'll say this one thing. This is what I will say. The nigga called Revolt last week and say he wants to put his content on Revolt channel. Revolt programming is booked up until 2026. They don't have any room for programming. So maybe in 2026 or whatever. So I have 2 more shows I could do this year. And so when I found that out, I called my man Fendi, because I know what Fendi and Dame speak. I said, yo, tell Dame, I'll put his shows on my slot on Revolt, because I have 2 more shows I could put on Revolt, if I can executive produce the shows. I said, he did it for me. When I needed help, he put my albums out on Rockefeller, and I let him executive produce them. I'm trying to do the same thing for you. I got 2 slots left. If you want 2 shows on Revolt this year, and you wasn't getting paid because you said you do it for free, I got a couple of dollars for you. I'm just the executive producer of the show. He tell Fendi. First he tell Fendi, yeah, he like, I bet. Nah, matter of fact, fuck that, I'm the Godfather. He can't executive produce my shows, Dang, their own God kids don't want you. How you the Godfather for anything? Your word don't count no more. You don't got teeth. You have dentures. Your word don't mean nothing. You fell off the Mount Rushmore of Harlem a long time ago. But we'll address it all tomorrow and Friday. But don't say I ain't trying to help out. You didn't want me to executive produce your TV shows. Could have walked it right in for you. See you tomorrow. Talk with Flea, nigga.
Yo, man, what is we talk about here? All right, man. All right. So listen, like I said, I don't think Dame is a dummy. I do think he says some dumb shit though. I would say that this whole thing with him and Revolt looks weird. He actually posted some text messages to Detavio Samuels, and it says, he said he was in a board meeting. He says we can align on clips and things for America New. So there's something, but it can only live in one place, right? He says, not my YouTube channel, my network. Also, is there still a pathway to own? But I'm cool with it if it's just bosses. If it's just for bosses, take losses to start, right? And then he posts another email of Detavio introducing him to some people. He's leading the process with us at Revolt. So, I mean, the whole takeaway from that even conversation is the fact that Detavio didn't deny that they were talking about making some sort of things happen. But Dame did go out and announce that he was the chairman of Revolt. And I just think that, for Dame, who has accomplished a lot, who has done a lot in his career, it's just right now, it don't look like much. You know what I'm saying? And the reason why it doesn't look like much is because of the actions. You know what I'm saying? Like him being up there and talking about, if I punch you in your face right now, you wouldn't do shit. Envy, if you get caught on this Radio Rico, you gonna tell, and I'm the chairman of Revolt. And it's just like, yo, bro, it's just too much, yo. It's too much. But this saga is gonna continue and we gonna cover it over here. So don't be sitting here complaining about why you keep making videos on this, because we covering the saga. We got to. This is I do it myself. For the ones that rock with me, you know how we doing. For the ones that don't, eventually will. Catch you on the next one. Peace.